Alrighty, welcome to episode 159 of Tokwa's Ask Us Anything. As usual, it's been a pretty busy news week. After years of industry lobbying, the Australian government has finally amended ADR 43/04, which previously set a maximum prime mover truck width limit of 2.5 metres. The new limit, contingent on some required passive and active safety additions, has now been increased to 2.55 metres, which falls just within the parameters of the Tesla Semi and thus eliminates its greatest barrier to Australian importation. Edify Energy has completed commissioning of a 150 megawatt, 300 megawatt hour Tesla Megapack energy storage system, which is Australia's largest virtual spinning reserve system to date. This system is capable of powering 240,000 houses for 2 hours, as well as providing lucrative grid support services. And that was this week's news. Indeed it was, and welcome everyone. For anyone who is new or hasn't been on for a long time, please unmute yourself and say hello. Russell.
Howdy.
Welcome back, stranger. Well, welcome back
Good
to
to
the
be
live
back.
version and not the pre-recorded one, which sees you turning blue in the face and screaming at an inanimate object.
Yeah.
If there is anyone that is new, yeah, please do say hello. And if not, you can always do that a little bit later on.
There's a guy called Warren there. You've got to unmute yourself, Warren.
See, yeah, okay. Is that better now?
Yeah.
Got you, Warren. Welcome.
Okay, thank you. I drive a Model 3 standard version. Since picked it up last February, and we've so far been down to Albany, Augusta, trialed all the charging, etc. A majority of the charging I do from home with solar panels. Yeah, otherwise everything's running good. Incidentally, there was a small incident. I think it was Ken. He's not here tonight. Ken and Alex was at the Wesley College. I think Alex described it briefly last week in reference to the incident, was that I can reach 90 on automatic steer, and then I have to use the accelerator pedal in order to get it up to 100. So that's very strange. And yet,
So is that at any speed you or autopilot or cruise control always goes 10 kilometers less than the indicated limit?
no, normally everything is fine. If I'm driving down Stock Road at 70, it sits on 70, etc. But I can go anywhere up to 90. But when I'm on a freeway, to get up to 100, I have to use the accelerator pedal.
Is it in valet mode or something?
Sorry?
Is it in valet mode?
Valet mode?
No, I don't. Not that I can recall.
Or have a look at your settings. So
if you look at Ken's there now. Yeah.
Yep. If you look at this screen, this is in your menu. This is slightly older, but if you scroll down, I can't do it because I don't have that. Just check that you haven't got a speed limit set, like a maximum speed limit set. Because
I've played with that. I've got that at 100, and I have had it at 110.
Yep.
Same issue.
Okay, so also check that the offset is set to...
I did go through Warren's car and look at all the settings. I'm pretty sure the settings are right. So I can't explain it.
Okay, so Warren, what you need to do is just hop onto your Tesla app on your phone and just log a service request.
Yeah.
And then just try to describe it. Just say the car refuses to go automatically faster than 90 kilometers per hour. Something, if that's what it does.
Well,
so
it's very strange because after I had Ken in the car, a few days later, I was coming back from Coburn on the freeway with my 17-year-old daughter, granddaughter, and I said, I'll show you how this auto steer works. And so I gently removed my foot from the pedal, and it went up to 100. It was all blacked out, and which is normal. So it went up to 100, and it maintained that all the way to get back to Salter Point, where she lives. But I didn't explain it to her because it would have been too complex. And yet that only persisted for about 3 days, and now it's back to normal, grayed out after 90.
So when you're driving along the freeway, which is a speed limit of 100,
yeah,
you've got the normal speed limit, which shows as a coloured. It's got the red outline with the numbers,
right,
say
circle.
100, and then to the right of that, you'll have an indication that says that you can invoke cruise control or autopilot. You'll have like a grey steering wheel.
Correct.
Forget what the symbol is for the for TAC, for cruise control. I'm not exactly sure. So when you use autopilot or cruise control, will it go to the 100 that it's indicated, or does it just go back to 90? Or does it just not turn on? Does it not engage?
I think it's more so with the auto steer, not with the autopilot.
I think what we might do is I'll just if you ring TOCWA's helpline tomorrow, which is 62623131.
6262
3131.
31, right? Okay.
Yeah, so they just repeated. They're 2 lots of repeated digits. Just ring that. Give me a call, and I actually happen to be in Salter Point, so if you're anywhere near there at any time,
no, I only go there once a week or so.
That's okay. Well, you can do it in a week's time, and come and see me, and we'll just hop in the car and have a bit of a suss. The problem is that the symptoms are a bit, it's not vague, but there's obviously something going on, but it might not be what's obvious. So best thing to do is just hop in the car. If you did put a service request in, they would have to do the same thing, and we could always try and just short circuit that.
Yeah, like when I was discussing with Ken, he said put in a service for it, and I said no, better still, I'll drive there. And he said, yeah, you could do that, and you could take somebody out on the freeway. But I'm not in a hurry for it at the moment. It'd be really most appreciated if I could connect with you.
Yeah, just give me a call, 62623131, and we'll have a suss, and I'll quickly be able to work out what's going on, whatever that is. So, I mean, there are a few things, just in general terms. You can set an absolute speed limit to the car. That's sort of designed, and that's I think that's pin protected. So that's sort of, if you've got a younger person that might drive the car, you can set an absolute speed limit. In Australia, obviously, that's 110. On the other hand, you can also set various offsets so that whatever the car detects the speed limit as, you can go up 10 kilometers or 10%, whichever is, well, it doesn't go higher than 10 kilometers an hour, higher than that limit. And you can set a lower offset as well if you wish to deliberately go slower than the speed limit. So there are a few settings, but Ken no doubt would have gone through all of those, and they would have all been normal. So
there he is. He's come back again.
Yeah. So I trust that Ken would have sussed it out. But look, the best thing is let's just hop in the car.
Thorough.
Yeah, let's just hop in the car, have a fang, and see what it does. And it's not something that I don't think any of us have ever heard of it doing as like some glitch. There must be something else that's involved.
Okay. Apart from that, I'll just discuss quickly how I got to Tesla. Initially, I was going to purchase a XC40 Volvo, and I go to a gym called Forever Strength, It's at Melville. Any rate, I was at the gym one day, and a gentleman came up to me and he said, "I heard you talking about Tesla." And I looked at him and I said, "No, I talked about the XC40 to my friend." Any rate, he said, "I've got a Tesla out in the car park." He said, "Would you like, have you got a few minutes?" And I said, I thought, "Oh, this is an opportunity." So I said, "Yeah." So we went out into the parking lot, and I sat there. Well, he just virtually blinded me with science. It was quite, I didn't really catch on to what was happening all the time. And this gentleman's name is David Lloyd.
Oh, yes. Yep.
We're all familiar with David. He's been around Tesla circles for years. Any rate, what happened, he said, "Would you like to go for a test drive?" And I thought, wow, this is something special. So a few days later, he took me down to his house and showed me all these wires all over the wall and in the back of a trunk of I think it was an S, the other model. And it was more blinding science, really. And anyway, I had 2 or 3 kilometer drive, which was, I thought, yeah, it's different, because initially I was driving an Orion. Well, I love my Orion, which is gone now. And what happened next? Oh, then he came to me a few days later. He said, "Would you like to do some volunteer work for Tesla?" And I thought, wow. And he said, "Yeah, my friend, his name is, Ken. Ken knows the name. I mentioned it. I got a mental block on it at the moment, Ken. This chap was asked to do a reenactment by Ampol from Perth to Sydney of the 1968 race that actually initially took from London to Sydney."
Yeah, so the gentleman that was done by John Edwards. So
John Edwards. Yeah, that's right, John Edwards.
Cool. So how long after all that happened before you actually placed the order for the car?
Well, I think the car they made actually.
When did you place the order? So you spoke to David. He took you for a test drive. Oh, yep. Cool. Yep.
It was back in July.
And how long did the car take to arrive?
Well, they rung me up at different times and said, "We've got the car ready." And I said, "What?" I said, "This is only after 2 or 3 months." But then they were palming off a demo model to me. And I said, no, a brand new model I'm waiting for. So I think it was about from basically July to January. I was in New Zealand at the time, but I didn't pick it up till February. So yeah.
And is it a Model 3 or a Model Y?
Yeah, it's a Model 3. And John Edwards, actually, I had stated, but when I had a drive around the Orion with him, prove I could drive, he said, "I'll send you an email each night with a list of places to pick up various items." So I actually had the car. This was a Y, twin engine Y. And I had the car for about 3 weeks, I think. And I was picking up steel. I was going from Malaga to Coburn, etc.
Yep.
And he appreciated it. And every day he used to say to me, "Oh, Warren," he said, "don't smash it up." He said, "It's the only wheels I've got."
Yeah, cool. Okay, we'll have to. We might regale that story a little bit later on in the program. So what we'd like to do is, unfortunately, the very savvy people on YouTube only watch the first part of the show because they sort of find that the rest of the show is not quite as interesting with as many pointed questions. So yeah, Warren, we'll definitely, if we can just park that for a little bit, and we'll definitely finish that story towards the latter part of the program. For example, we've got people like Chuck, who has joined us from the future, and he's actually 3 hours ahead of us. And it's getting rather late, and we've got lots of exciting news. In fact, we've got Sandra Jerry will be coming onto the program shortly, and she's obviously from Synergy, and she will be giving us the latest report on the WAEV network. So that's as soon as she comes on board, we'll clear the decks for her to do that presentation, and then we can continue other questions. So has anyone else got any questions or comments?
Yeah, is Sandra going to be doing that in French tonight?
Probably not, Jared, but I believe that on YouTube, you can get a transcript and you can translate it through Google Translator into French.
Oh, good. Thank you.
So that's a free service from YouTube.
Right.
All
Harold,
right. Has anyone got any
Harold?
questions not related to French?
Yeah, I've got one. There was somebody
Nigel.
else piped up just then as well.
Yeah, I did. Grumpy.
Oh, go Steve.
You
Yeah,
go first,
whoever.
Steve.
Now, simply Cybertruck.
Oh yes, I want to talk about that.
Okay, so I haven't spooled up the live stream, but what I have got is something that's actually related to two Elon Musk items, and that is, I'm just going to spool this up and make it widescreen. And it is showing Cybertrucks, so let's just go share screen. So these are the two Cybertrucks that went on the Baja 1000. Well, it's a bit longer than that, actually. It's 1,200 miles. But the reason for actually breaking out this video is you get a 2-for-1 because it actually features a slimmer version of the Starlink terminal. So you can see the one on the right is actually thinner than the one behind it.
Mm.
And that's clearly Tesla just sussing out the thinner version, which, basically is identical to the old one, but just better, thinner. And there is going to be a smaller version that's about half that size. It's roughly the size of an A4 sheet of paper. But while we're talking about that, I will try and get the some of the live stream that Tesla did. It went for 7 minutes, which we obviously won't go through all of that. But Steve, please discuss Cybertruck, my favourite Tesla. In fact, my next car is going to be a Cybertruck.
Well, there's so much stuff coming out right now, Harold. You've had that 1 minute Max's. So they looked around the interior of the Cybertruck. They had a different UI, and Max was named because that was the name of the backpack that somebody else had hijacked to get into the car. Now that was on YouTube, goes for about a minute or so.
I'm gonna beg James, because James is the best producer on earth, or the money. If you can please find that link so I can post it up, or someone. Yeah, cool. Yes, was that the informal? There was some debate. I think Rob Mao was debating as to whether it was legally obtained, that footage, or not. Maybe it was done by a bit of deception or something. Is that how it went, Steve? I think. Oh, you're muted. Sorry, you're muted,
You
Steve.
muted yourself.
No, I was pushing the button, but it didn't work, so I don't know why. Yeah, there was hinted at having security issues, and that suggested that Max was in trouble because obviously he'd left the car open and somebody else jumped in and then took a minute 10 seconds of internal pictures from the back, showed a lot of the stuff we haven't actually seen much of.
But one thing I was super interested in, and I don't have the. Oh, thank you, James. I don't have the footage.
In a new leak.
We might as well. Oh, this is only goes for a minute. Okay.
The interior of the highly anticipated Tesla Cybertruck has been revealed. The photo shows a unique steering wheel design, combining elements of the yoke and round steering wheels seen in other Tesla models. The deep dash and spacious cabin are also apparent, while it appears that the center console can no longer transform into a center seat. With production just months away, Tesla continues to keep details under wraps, making this sneak peek
sorry, James, that's not the one.
Yeah, the guy's speaking like Russian or something.
Maybe he was just in a hurry.
Yeah. Boom, boom, dad joke.
It's too early for dad jokes.
But it literally was.
Until the end that he's finished.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There's 2 minutes. Anyway, this is the Cybertruck doing. You can see the back wheels turning opposite to the front ones, which is pretty cool.
It's like a Honda Prelude.
Yes. Oh, yes, it is. It is.
Don't say that. Oh.
I don't know if we can unhear that comment there, Ken.
No.
Oh, the Honda Prelude. That car was old when I was at work in 1989, and geez. Yeah, anyway.
The four-wheel steering is not exactly a new thing, but it is cool to have.
Indeed. And the Tesla's version is going to be super cool. Super duper cool. Actually, to be honest, anything in a Cybertruck is going to be super cool. There were a couple of Regatruck is usually a good source of some juicy images, and oh yes, there were. Sorry, 2 seconds. It's always boring when you do stuff live. Oh, here we go. There is you get a pretty good indication of the size of the front. So obviously this gentleman can fit in it perfectly well, which is pretty cool. And obviously they've got a bit of wiring and stuff. We don't think we have to worry about the dust in those seals because that's probably just, I mean, they were pushing these cars pretty hard and they are just release candidates. So I'm sure that'll all be okay later on. And there's some footage of them mounting the Starlink terminals or possibly taking them off. But yeah, I don't know. My producers are failing me.
Yeah, the reveal.
See, Russell will be screaming, but unfortunately, Russell can scream live now and go, "Yeah, that's all right. I've got it right here."
Well, post it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about, but I'm on my phone, so it's difficult to find. But
yeah, no,
I can dig it out. I'll get it. Give us 2 minutes. I'll send you a link. Hang
that's
on.
cool. Here's a little bit of footage of the Cybertruck just fanging it round the corner. And that was from the live stream.
Having to pull over when slow F-150s are in the way.
Yes, exactly. That's correct. So that was a pretty cool live stream they did under trying circumstances. And I've used a Starlink terminal while you're moving, and yeah, it is a bit jittery. So they did really well to do a 7-minute continuous live stream to Twitter, which was pretty cool. Alrighty, has anyone got... Oh, James got another video. Let's see if this is the goods.
A new leaked video.
No, it's...
No,
that's not it. No, sorry, James. Nothing from BizCap. It's from someone else. It's from the actual guy that did it, I think. But anyway, anyone else got any other questions or comments? Actually, sorry, Nigel, you were after Steve.
Yeah, I just had a couple of quick things. Firstly, charging. My Model Y, when I plug it into the Stockland destination charger, it won't charge. Despite resetting the car, resetting the charging unit, a few people have intermittently noted problems, but everybody else seems to be charging quite happily. I have charged on it a couple of times successfully, but more often than not, it just will not charge. Yet I can plug it into any other charger, home, different shops, etc. Destination chargers, never had a problem.
So sorry, this is just the one at Baldivis?
Just the one at Baldivis, but everybody else is now charging quite happily.
Is it the old one? Old style, or is it the new white one?
No, it's older style. It's not the white.
And it's been a long install, like it's been there for quite a while?
They did replace it a year or two ago.
Right. Because some of them, sometimes, unfortunately, the internal control pilot wire, one of the control wires cracks because it's been
yeah,
the cable's it's been made poorly, unfortunately, and you can just be unlucky. So what you can try is if you give it like a clockwise twist, if you make a loop in the cable, plug it in.
Because I know about the wire, the cracked wire. I will keep playing with it. But you know, when I'm going down the shops, I'm going shopping. I haven't got time to stand there for.
No. Have you actually seen someone directly after you plug it in and have success? Have you noticed?
No, but looking on PlugShare, there are people there just before me, no problems. But you see, the people, because it's a public charger, leave the cable all over the floor. Is
there only one cable, or are there two plugs?
No, it's a Tesla charger. There's another one that's on ChargeFox there that you need a Type 2 cable for.
Okay, so in other words, there's only one destination charger, so it's not like people are getting confused on PlugShare or just choosing to say successful on another plug?
No.
No, okay. Just unfortunately, you have to keep an eye on it, Nigel. I think it's the cable, to be honest.
Quite possibly. I have tried to wiggle the cable and play with it, but anyway, that was one thing. And the other thing that has really, really annoyed me today was the federal court. Did you hear what they did? The federal court today handed down its judgment on the Living Wonders case, finding that the Environment Minister, Tanya Plibersek, was legally correct to ignore climate impacts of the Narrabri and Mount Pleasant coal mines, which opens up the way for, they got about 100 and something or other, 110 fossil fuel projects in development that she can just go ahead and approve. And they're supposed to be a climate friendly parliament, like something they are. Gives me the piss.
The willies. All right. Something that's not going to give you the willies is Sandra Giri, who is Synergy's design and discovery practitioner. I hope I got that the right way.
That was about the smoothest segue you've ever done.
Yeah, well, I was
possibly so.
You can. Like, it was horrible.
Welcome, Sandra. Welcome back, Sandra.
Thanks.
And it's awesome to have you back after I trust a very good annual leave that now seems like a long, long time ago.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it was great to go back home and have the heat and the summer and all the food, obviously. But it's good to be back because there's a lot of work.
Absolutely. Well, what I'm going to do without any further ado, because your time is very precious to us, is we'll go straight to the presentation. So here it is. And yeah, Sandra, please talk to it.
Awesome. So since last time we chat, I think it was around July. So there has been a few new sites that are available. I'm sure you know better than me, but you can see on this map we have done another color for the construction one, which are now in orange. But all the green ones are the ones that you can already use that are operational on the WAV network. I have tried to put some of the green of the Horizon Power Land, but the orange one, I'm sure there is much more than that in the Horizon Power Land, because we know also, because Harold was traveling and so on, we know that there is much more locations that are already working on. So much more orange than what we can see definitely in the Horizon Power area. And in the Swiss, so in the Synergy land, which is, I remind you, which is the darker blue on the Southwest Interconnected System, we have already nine locations that are live, and 3 that will come live before the end of this year, and all the others that will arrive in Q1 2024. But a lot are under construction, and the ones that are not under construction yet will be definitely in November, December. So yeah, it's getting along. Still quite a road to go, but it's coming along. So in October, we are gonna have Meridian, Southern Cross, and Coolgardie. So the whole Goldfields route will open to us. That will happen hopefully on the last week of October. And Derby, Esperance, and Norseman on the Horizon Power land. And in November, I know that Horizon Power is going to have Connemara, Warman, and Holsk apparently as well. Potentially more, but at the moment, that's the information I have. Any question or comments so far?
Oh, I think we're all good, Sandra.
Cool. Interrupt me if you have any. And so, yeah, that's the update on the project itself. And then I thought you would be quite interesting to see a bit. We just started to play a bit with the data. And this week we managed to have a mini dashboard report of some of the data. So I thought I will share that with you. And once again, feel free to interrupt, or if you want to discuss it further and so on, let me know, because there's a lot of slides, but then it's a first report that we are doing. So if you have any feedback, if you think that there are things that are irrelevant, or if you think that there are things that should be in the report and are not yet, I will be keen to hear from you. So this is just giving you an overview of the whole. So that's the 9 DC stations. We are not talking about AC there. That's the 9 DC stations that we have live in Synergyland. And so you can see so far that the use is very much during the day and during the sun, so which is awesome. It's mainly between 9 and 3 p.m. and mostly during the week more than during the weekend. And so far we have already 23 tons of CO2 abated, which is really cool. So then I have done by, there's no, I didn't put Albany first because it's the first, it's just by alphabetic order. So this is giving you a snapshot of how the chargers in Albany are working. So remember that Albany has 2 times 150 kilowatt chargers. By the way, at the moment, there is one charger that is not working. We are aware of it, and it will be repaired on the 19th. But Albany so far had, in average, 4 daily uses, and which is very interesting amongst all the chargers, is that more or less they are around the 32, 34 minutes in average for charging stations. So it's quite interesting as well to see that whatever the location, it's pretty much the same. And there has been only 4 days where we haven't used the charger, so that was definitely required. Let's put it this way. And so you can see as well the weekend versus weekdays. So it's again more used during the week than the weekends. And the off-peak and peak, the peak is 9 to 3 p.m. and everything else is considered as off-peak. So yeah, I don't know if you have any question. That's one of the first. We started in May because that's when we started to launch it, as you say, in mid-May. But that's quite interesting sometimes to see, for example, the Lancelin one and the Joyan Bay one, how much they are used during the September holidays or during the July holidays. So yeah, I don't know. It's just fun to play with the data.
Is that 4 days on the Albany one? Is that 4 days saying that it's been
hasn't been used for 4 days?
Yeah, okay, so it's not like it got used every day but there's 4 days between uses at one point.
Or is the maximum dwell time?
Yeah, there is 4 days where the chargers haven't been used.
That's in a row, isn't it, Sandra? That means 4 days.
No, it's the maximum of days. It's not in a row. It's just 4 days since the 17th of May when we put the chargers live. The chargers haven't been used only 4 days. They are not consecutive days. It's just
cool.
Total length of time, and it's from the 17th of May till the 1st of October. We stopped the data on the 1st of October. So from 17th of May to the 1st of October, only 4 days amongst this period of time where the chargers haven't been used, which is quite awesome. Like, it shows really that it was very, very required.
Regularly used.
Yeah.
And you've got Geraldton.
Yeah, then you have Geraldton. So you see a bit less use, like it's 2 daily use in average, but still 33 minutes in average to charge your car. So and yet it hasn't been used for 29 days since the 4th of April. Geraldton is our first charger that went live as well, so it's quite interesting data. Yeah, so each time there's not many difference yet in between the locations. I mean, in terms of use, yes, a little bit, but in terms of weekdays versus weekend or the time of day use, except Kings Park, they are pretty much all the same. Joyan Bay, it's very, very new, right? Like it's still a baby, like we have not even 2 weeks of data, so it's very small yet to really see a trend, but yet we can see when it was during the school holidays, like it was quite well used. So that's very
Is there a metric for how many people have been charged the idle fee?
Yeah, so I haven't had time to add it in this because I've been quite busy this week, but I had a quick look yesterday, and so the longest idle fee was 1 hour and 27 minutes. The most idle fee are in Kings Park, 16 in 1 month. And the total number of idle fees were 45 out of 1,900 charges.
Yeah, okay.
So,
I guess you could probably only assume those are the people who are getting included charging within their purchase of new vehicles, like the Audis and the like. Do you know if the people who are on those plans with ChargeFox, are they paying the actual idle fee themselves, or is that being covered by the vehicle manufacturer when they purchased it?
Well, that's one thing. Yeah, that's a very good question. And we asked the question because we definitely didn't want these people to not pay the idle fee. So that will be in the version 2, which ChargeFox is currently working on, to make sure that at the moment we have this issue with the people that had the OEM contract. As they don't pay for their charge, they don't pay either for the idle fee because they don't have to have an account, so that's a bit of an issue. And the second issue we have is with the fleet, because at the moment we don't know either how to make the people pay for it, which shouldn't be very complicated to put into place since it's like a parking, right? Or a fine if you get a speed ticket while you are renting a car. Shouldn't be that hard to retrieve. But at the moment, because we wanted to implement the idle fee ASAP, we agreed for ChargeFox to put the idle fee even though the product was not really finished. So for the moment, the product of idle fee is not good enough, and we are very aware of it, and that's why we are working on the version 2. And we are hoping to have the version 2 finalized before the end of the WAV network, so before Q1 2024, but it's a work in progress.
So I guess, Sandra, the great data point that you will get is the fact that us mere mortal Tesla owners will not have any idle fees, or very, very, very small ones, because it's costing us personally, and there's a great disincentive for us to behave badly. But I dare say the Audi owners, the Mercedes owners, the Jaguar owners who aren't subject to that, I guess they will be conspicuous in their rampant not caring about idle fees.
Yeah, let's put it this way. Hopefully not for long, you know.
Yep. Cool.
But yeah, it's look, it's not perfect. It's like Kings Park, you know. There is an AC charger. It's a prime parking. People are parked there non-stop, right? Yeah, can't be perfect.
You don't get statistics about the vehicle actually charging. You just get the charge, like duration and stuff, right?
It depends how you charge your card. If you charge your card through your RFID, I can have an idea of the car you have because you are filling this in your ChargeFox account. So I can know if you use the RFID or the app, I can know what type of car it is. But not for every transaction, and some people won't put the data in there. So.
And they don't get, and Synergy doesn't get personal information from ChargeFox. No. So they're not going to get your name. At most, they might know the brand of your car.
Yep.
All right. Security cameras at any of the locations? We
don't get personal data.
Say again,
security
Russell?
cameras like CCTV?
Camera, but this is CCTV. But the CCTV is up to the Shire to put into place. This is not part of our project, so we definitely recommend to put CCTV. Same with the light. We recommend the Shire or the city to put a light on because we want to make it more safe and so on. However, this is not in our scope of work, so that it's totally up to the Shire to put CCTV or to put a light.
All right, let's do the rest of the slides. That was Jurien Bay, which, as Sandra said, was quite a brief. It's only been working for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's a very, very young one. Yeah, only a couple of weeks. Kings Park is very different. Yeah, Kings Park, obviously, it's a metropolitan one, right? So it's used very differently. Obviously, it's much more used than any other chargers. As you can see, at the moment, in less than 1 month of use, it was 10 daily uses in average, but still 31 minutes for a charge, which is very, very like the constant amongst all chargers. And yeah, the interesting things in Kings Park is just that's where we have the biggest idle fee, and that's where we have the most idle fee. And I believe it's because they don't care, because there's so much people around that it's quite hard to find a parking. So it's a prime park, even though it's not the prime parking in front of the Zamia Cafe. It's still not very far, so I still find that it's quite a prime parking.
It's very convenient to go and get my coffee.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And like, but it's too quick. I bring the car there, and like 10 minutes after I had to come back. It was a bit.
A number of those
now I
charges
need
are
to find a
me.
parking. So yeah. But it's great. We are going to monitor, obviously, we're going to monitor the data as well to understand a bit better how it works. And there's things we can put in place, because Kings Park soon is going to open as well the cinema. I can't remember how they call it, but you know, the outdoor cinema things until end of April, I think. So this brings a lot of people as well at different time of day. So it will be interesting as well to see if there is a bit of a shift. And you can see already in the hour charging when it starts and so on. Like, there is much more at night in Kings Park than there is in the other location. And I think it's because we don't drive that much in WA during the night, but in the metropolitan area, even Uber driver and so on, we can see that there's some, it's always the same. So I think there's quite few Uber drivers that are using it. And we had some charge at 2 in the morning. We have some charge like at 12, at 10 p.m. Like, there's much more. There's, I think, 11% of the charge in Kings Parks were after night, so like after 7 p.m., which is quite a lot considering.
Just one thing, Sandra, my wife actually, she came home late from work, and she was actually a bit short. She thought she'd suss out the Kings Park. She thought she'd suss out the charger, and I think it was about 9:45 at night. It was a few days ago, and she tried it out. And she said that the light wasn't working. Like, do you know why that would be? Like, has the globe blown or something, or do you know?
It shouldn't be, but I think at the moment they are stopping the lights. It was a long conversation with Kings Park, as you know, because it's a different authority. It's not just a shire. It's not just a car park. We are in the middle of a park, and they have a lot of regulations, a lot of environmental things to consider. And the fauna, obviously, is one of them. So we had already to put a lot of thinking differently. And so they asked a specific light bulb and things like that to make sure that it was not disturbing the fauna at night. And I think they wanted to switch off it. I can't remember if it was 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. I can double check with them. But I think they wanted to switch it off to avoid to attract people with bad intentions as well. That's where they come from. They think that if there is no light, then people are not coming.
Yeah, right. It's just that, because my wife was a little bit sort of apprehensive because there's no real, I think that the charger has like a tiny light on it, but it's like, she thought it was really dark and oh, well, anyway, I mean, it's good to know that it's not, that the light's not faulty. I guess if there's a policy just to turn it off at a certain time, well, fair enough, whatever. That's cool.
Yes and no, because that's something we have discussed with them no later than last week as well, because I was like, can we put a sensor light? So that it doesn't disturb the fauna too much, and yet when you come to charge, we want people to feel safe, as you say, and particularly if there is 11% of the charge so far that happens during the night.
Yeah,
like you definitely want this 11% to feel really secure to do so. So that's a conversation, and that's why we're gonna monitor the data as well and see, if there is more use during the night, maybe to extend the time. They said that they will extend the time when the outdoor cinema will be on, because they will put the timing on the same timing as all the other lights and activity around the park, I guess. But that's definitely, look, if any of you is using the charger and you find that the light is not good enough, please send me a writing email to me or to the WAV network address, so that we can document it as well and make the difference. You know, if we feel that it needs to be changed, then I need data. Like we can't just change that.
Bit of an idea, Sandra. There's some reports in the US of people getting mugged at charges because they're there for such a long period of time, and they wait for someone to plug in. Then they wait in the bushes, and once they hop out to unplug, that's when they like essentially carjack them or mug them. And because it's so dark in Kings Park, there, you can hide a meter away from the car, and you wouldn't even be able to see them. So I guess from a safety point of view, if Kings Park are waiting for someone to get mugged before they decide to leave the light on, then it's probably not really a good look to have, I suppose.
Well, I hear you, and that's why if you feel like it, like really, I need you to write me an email and just express your opinion, because this plus the data of the usage during the night will really help us to take the right decision and to go back to Kings Park. They are working very closely with us, so they are very willing to make it good. So and I don't think it will be a big change either, like changing a bulb or putting a sensor or whatever it is, but I'm not an engineer, but I'm sure it's not that hard either. So please, if you feel like it's a big issue and so on, like help me to document it so that I can go back to the people at Kings Park and say, hey, we really need to do something about it.
I think something really does need to be done about it sooner rather than later, because it is a safety issue. The charger is literally less than 1.5 meters from really thick bush. And when that light is off, you're in the middle of Kings Park. It is absolutely pitch black. You can barely see your hand in front of you. So it would take nothing for someone just to pull someone into the bush there. And, I think it's a safety issue. And your idea with the sensor light, I think, is a brilliant idea, which probably strikes a good compromise between looking after the fauna as well as the safety of people charging there.
That's what I was thinking, like that it doesn't attract the people to a light like a moth, but at the same time it's on if you need and if you're around, right? So I thought it would be maybe it's a good compromise, but once again, like please, if like it's all, but I can't say it, but if it's only my opinion, it's not very heavy. If that's your opinion, please share it with me so that we can document it. And this plus the data, and we're gonna monitor this. We say with Kings Park that we will monitor it until end of January, and then in the end of January we will have this conversation again. So,
do you have a direct? No, it's not direct. A generic email address for the WAV network, so not your personal Synergy one that might be available. Don't have to tell us now. You can message it to me later, Sandra, and I can.
WAV network at synergy.net.au. I think it is. But I will triple check.
Cool.
I think that's really simple. I think it's WAV network at synergy.net.au.
Cool. No worries. All right. We might put that up on our web page as well. And just for any, and look, it's obviously also useful for any other sites if there are any issues, idiosyncrasies. So sorry about a little excursion there, Sandra. Just talking about Kings Park, and it was just random that my wife just happened to use it. But we'll go back to the.
That's exactly why I come to this kind of presentation as well. Like this is talking with the customer where you can like update the product and make it better. And at the end of the day, I'm a customer too, so I want it to be safe. If I go there at night,
absolutely.
I don't want to be mugged in a bush. I don't want it to either. So it's exactly that's the reason why I work closely with you all, because you see things or that I don't know about. So it's always great to have direct feedback. So that's why I'm always eager to hear. Doesn't mean that I will be able to do everything that you ask, but like if we feel like we can do it in general, we try to make it better if we can do it, right? So
cool.
That's exactly why we're here.
we'll get back to the presentation. So we're back to Kings Park. I think we've done Kings Park.
Yeah, so there is no much more. Like there is one per location. So I don't know if there's a location that interests you more than another, but pretty much they are very similar one to the other. And I can share this presentation with you all if you are interested to have it. So if you want to look at it in your own time. So this report will be provided to the LGAs in the Swiss quarterly. So that will be great. At this stage, I don't know if it will be shared widely. I just know that it will be shared with the LGA.
Can I make a suggestion? It'd be awesome if you had something like this sort of dashboard on Synergy's WAV network website, because it's really a great news story, you know, demonstrating the CO2 abatement and the triple bottom line, that the environmental good, you know, the fact that these stations are being used and increasingly used. I think, yeah, it's a great story for Synergy and for Horizon Power for that matter. So yeah, a bit of free feedback, that'd be awesome on your website. But I think we've got one more slide.
Yeah, so this is more on the AC chargers. So internet was only on the DC chargers, and this is a quick snapshot on the AC chargers. So once again, Giant Bay is less than 2 weeks, right? So there's not that much, but it was just to give you a broad idea on how long you stay on an AC charger. And so, yeah, you can see Menjimap, it's 127 average charge, which is quite a long time, but the AC charger don't have any idle fee, so you can go for a long lunch or whatever, like, and stay for, and it's only 7.6 kilowatts, right? So you can go for 3 or 4 hours really.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but yeah, I just fine. And then it's just I need
on
to
the
make
AC
this
charging,
much more.
do you monitor the actual amount of like energy they're putting in terms of like how many kilowatts? Because you can turn your car down to like 5 amps or something and get way less power and not have to pay the whole
30 cents an hour you pay, Russell, if you want to get premium parking at Kings Park. You plug in, go to 5 amps, and
that's what I'm getting at.
30 cents an hour.
Is there a breakdown on like what the average or what the usage is of the maximum capacity of the AC? Like seeing if people are using a 5 amps or if they're pushing it to, 32 amps.
I didn't look actually.
I think the OCPP does. It can tell the system that is something that is measured, Russell, definitely. But it might not be something that's logged to a dashboard.
Yeah, in the dashboard I don't have it, but yeah, I wonder if we have it in the other Excels that we can export.
Because you have to look at like average power consumption.
Yep.
Basically, you'd probably, if you had each session itemized, you could just divide the power delivered by the time, and then that would give you the energy delivered divided by the time.
Provided they haven't sat around and done idle feeds for 2 hours after they've stopped.
Yeah, but look, as Sandra said, it's only 7.6 kilowatts max. But yeah, unfortunately, humans being humans, they're going to do what humans do, which is plug in, lower the amps to 5, which is the lowest you can lower on any car, and that's less than that's about a kilowatt, and it's going to cost you 30 cents an hour to have a couple of coffees at Zomia Cafe and get a nice prime spot that no one else can park at. Yay. And Sandra, there's some comments at the back of this.
Yeah, well, I need to work, like as I say, it's the first report, so there's still a lot of work to do, and this is not really, well, for me, it's not really palatable, to be honest with you. So I really need to work on the wordings, because I'm not a nerd. You guys probably know better than me when you read this kind of sentence, but I read it 5 times and was like, My English is failing me right now. I don't understand what they're trying to say. So I need to make it much simpler. Now I understand the calculations that they're doing, but I'm just going to word it much simpler because it's just silly. But it just to give you, when you will have a look at the data further on or whatever, just to give you an idea on how we have calculated the CO2 abatement. I thought it was a great way as well for the LGA and so on, because if they want to do a great story around the green energy and so on, they need to understand how does that come from, like where this CO2 abatement is coming from. So, and it's very conservative, obviously.
You reckon another conservative thing, like equivalent of like if someone was using a petrol car, how many liters of fuel have been avoided as well? So I don't know, say that, I don't know, 7.5 liters per 100 or something, and say EV maybe like 200 watt hours per whatever it's got, a kilometer or whatever, and then you can figure out how many liters of petrol.
Yeah, we tried. Like, that's funny that you say that, because over the last 6 months or so, I think I had like this request at least 10 times from different government entities as well, and so on, like, can you give us a bit of a comparison and so on? And look, if we really want to, I guess we can do a kind of calculation, but it doesn't make much sense. So in general, I give them the rough comparison, but at the same time, there's so many variables that it doesn't really, for me, it just, I can't really give this data, like, you know, saying you can articulate really a marketing page on this. You just can't really, like, you can't compare an electric vehicle and a petrol car. So like,
and Russell, the only way you could,
same.
Yeah, sorry, Sandra. Russell, the only way you could really do that is if you said, well, a petrol car would have consumed 7 litres per 100 kilometre, and the electric cars, as the energy was delivered by Synergy into them, that ratio of energy delivered to the car would have represented half a litre of petrol. But that's kind of confusing. Whereas if you just use grams of CO2, that's a universal sort of figure. It's a unit that's comparable to both systems. So
yeah, I understand. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think that the point, and Sandra sort of said, you know, this is a bit of a paragraph, but it's for the people who are doubters and say, oh, you know, this is just a whole lot of gobbledygook. It actually goes into the detail of, you know, even at the worst, we assume that 29% of the grid is green at the moment, you know, and that's according to OpenNEM. Worst case, on an average over a 24-hour period. Yeah. Yep. So cool.
Yeah, and even the 6 kilometers per kilowatt hour, like we have to stay super conservative when we give data like that, right? And so that I'm always very, very careful on how we use the data and how we talk. And yeah, to be honest, Russell, I really refuse to compare to petrol cars, because I feel like it's not accurate enough so that I feel comfortable doing so.
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, that's just to give you a, it's a personal thing, and I'm sure, like, if you ask someone else, I'm sure they can do the comparison if you ask them too. But yeah, I just prefer not to be this person. And at the end, it's just a definition of what is the peak of peak, the start date, and yeah, the maximum days and things like that. So it's just a kind of glossary, just to make sure that we are all speaking the same language. So yeah, that was it for me. Is there like feedback? It's a 3 points. There is a lot of work to do to make it more pretty and so on, but it's already quite cool to see the trends, I find.
Oh, it's awesome, Sandra, and like I said, it'd be great if that dashboard could somehow be incorporated even sporadically into Synergy's website. That would be awesome. Now there is one last thing that I think Synergy's involved with, and everyone is welcome to attend, or anyone in the public actually, and that is this
Green Fair. Yes. So Green Fair, for those of you who don't know about Green Fair, I think that's the 7th year that Albany is doing this event. And so Green Fair is a sustainability event. Last year, a few of you get down. I think AVA has a stand as well and share it with the Tokwa. But yeah, so there is a few stands as well, and sustainable transport is one of the main themes. And since we have 2 fast chargers in Albany, I'm gonna get down on the Saturday. So if everyone feel like going to Albany for the weekend, or now it's super easy to go to Albany for the weekend as well, even when you don't have a Tesla. Any EV now can get down very easily. So yeah, if you feel like it and so on, come say hi. I will be melted in different stand. I won't have a WAV network or a Synergy stand, but I'm invited on different stands. So it's gonna be really interesting morning. And if you look for a lift, I'm leaving on the Friday. I'm coming back on the Saturday. So yeah, just give me a call if you want to lift and come down.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for that, Sandra. I really appreciate
Pleasure.
everything that you've done and the time
So,
that
Harold,
you.
can I just ask one more question?
Go,
Sorry,
Russell.
before Sandra goes. When I'm trying to convince people about buying EVs, a big thing they always talk about is cost, and I've sort of like got answers for that, and you can tell them how it's better overall cost. But then the second thing is say, oh, when I drive to Albany or when I drive to Geraldton, I'm worried I'm not going to be able to charge because I don't know if there's going to be people waiting there or if it's going to be unreliable, those sorts of things. I'm just thinking maybe the metrics you're looking at, is it possible to have almost like a way of figuring out if people have been waiting for a charge? So if someone's charged within, say, 3 or 4 minutes of the person before, that could indicate that person has been waiting for the person to leave. That could also then say, all right, well, we need more charges at location because people are waiting more frequently.
Yeah. So, and it's a very, very pertinent things to that, and I wish we could do it. I don't see how we can add people waiting and for how long, except if they put it on PlugShare or something like that. Like, we won't be able to monitor this just from the charges. However, what we can monitor, and you just make me think of it, is how the operation and maintenance is working. Like when we have something broken, how long it took us to repair it. So that will be something that I will be keen to put in the dashboard, actually. I think it will be really relevant regarding the fact that we had a lot of issue with other brand and other fast chargers, particularly in WA. I think it would be great to see if the WAV network is reliable. So that's something that we will be able to monitor. Unfortunately, the waiting line, that's not something we can do anything about. And adding some chargers, Synergy never been interested in owning infrastructure. So once this project will be finished, it will be finished. If anyone wants to put other charger, we will have to rely on other organization, other project, and private investors.
If someone's got a ChargeFox app they're using, not just a credit card, would it be possible to get people to ask if they want to fill in a survey after they've used a WAV network charger? You can ask them those questions, like, were you waiting to charge, or just get sort of like feedback like that?
Yeah, it's a very good idea. I think maybe, through the ChargeFox app, I wonder if they can create, another feature that will tell you how many cars are waiting, or if you can kind of book your session.
Well, not
Until
so much booking.
now, I don't think you can.
I don't think so much booking. More just like if you're sitting in your car and your car's charging, you could fill out a little survey like, how long did you wait to get to the charge? Was it available when you got there? Were both stalls working? That could be good feedback for you guys if it's not apparent.
And maybe general appearance, like if there's any comments about the location, like
if there's
it was
rubbish
untidy or rubbish or something,
graffiti, or if they felt scared or if they felt comfortable.
I think we don't even need to go through ChargeFox to do a survey, so it would be probably quicker if I do it. Sorry, Steve.
Should be able to tell when all of the stalls are engaged as well, so that you know it's 100% capacity. And as Russell was saying, then if somebody clicks in straight afterwards, obviously they're waiting because all stalls were full.
Yeah, so you can infer. So, Sandra, what this was saying is you could infer if you had each session logged, if it showed that you're at full capacity, and then the session ended, and so within a minute another session started, that could infer that you might have some congestion. Not that, of course, Synergy is going to do anything about it per se, but you can infer a metric that this must be a busy station because it never has idle time. So if you measured your idle as in not charging, if
non-usage,
like you know, you have days between uses, total number of idle days. If you have idle minutes in a slab, like within a 3-hour period, and those idle minutes was very low, then you could infer that station was congested. Or
yeah, you're right.
Potentially.
Yeah, no, it would be super interesting for the LGA. The LGA would like to have this kind of data. Synergy, yeah, as you say, they can't do much about it because the project scope of work is very specific. But the LGA can be very interesting to know if they need to add another charger and so on, and if they should, look for other options.
And something that Synergy might like to suggest to ChargeFox, which is super duper frustrating, is when you are at a charger on a road trip. So this is not the only charger you want to use. You want to use one 200 kilometers up the road. If you want to plan what you're doing, when you are currently charging using a ChargeFox card or the RFID card or the app, when you go to look at the map on the app while you're charging, all it shows is your current charging session showing the battery filling up with charge, and you cannot get out of it. So I've had to resort to using my wife's ChargeFox app so that I could actually view the map to see if the charger down the road was occupied. And it's super duper frustrating because you just don't know what's going on elsewhere. Yeah. You have to wait till you're finished charging and then waste time not driving to find out what the rest of the network is doing. Super duper frustrating.
Yeah, particularly because when you're charging, that's when you're planning for the next.
Precisely, you're right. It's time in motion, and you want to be planning the next location, and you can't even view locations on the ChargeFox app. So that's super frustrating. And I'm sure there's tens of thousands of EV owners that use ChargeFox network that find that frustrating.
That's a good point.
Alrighty, anyone else got any other quick comments or questions of Sandra before we let her finally relax for the evening?
I'm very relaxed, Harold.
I think we're all good. I think we're really good. All right. Well, Sandra, thank you so much for joining us again.
Guys.
And as usual, you're more than welcome to join us anytime whatsoever. And look forward to the next update of the WAEV network.
Awesome.
Thanks again, Sandra.
And if you want access to the presentation, just ask Harold, and he has the presentation so he can spread it if needed. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Thanks, Sandra. Good night. Alrighty, have we got any other questions or comments? Whether it's about the WAEV network, as Sandra said, there were a few other Horizon Power sites that clearly, while not officially known yet as being worked on, we know that Overlander is very much being worked on. And in fact, Chuck, do you know anyone that might have put the pin up for the Overlander? Or is that maybe Horizon Power themselves? I've not bothered to ask them.
I think there have been one or two WA ones that I have added.
Cool.
So only ones where photos had been provided publicly.
Oh yes.
And there was no pin yet.
No, that's cool. So
yeah.
you did the Overlander one then, which is totally cool. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. No worries.
I was playing with Google Street View and stuff, trying to work out exactly where it was on site, trying to line up the photos with satellite views and stuff. But
yeah, cool. No, that's awesome. No worries. So Chuck, tell us from the future, how is the future of EV charging?
Everything's amazing. We're all using hydrogen and battery swapping. It's like just totally fantastic.
Now you must be almost on the precipice of departing your fine state to do the arduous trip.
I'm about 6 days and 20 hours from departing, so nearly. I'll be on the ferry next Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday evening or daytime? Evening.
Wednesday evening, yeah.
Ah,
Yep,
right. Okay, well, there'll be radio silence from you next week then.
That's right. Yep. Not even mobile reception on the internal cabins anyway, not in the internals.
No, that's well, actually, you don't even get mobile reception on any cabin once you're out to sea. Oh, unless you go and buy their Wi-Fi service, and I don't know if you know, because I overheard one of the bartenders say that the Wi-Fi basically only works in the open crew areas or open passenger areas. It doesn't work in the cabin, in most cabins, because they just don't have repeaters everywhere.
Yep.
But awesome. So, alrighty.
So there's all the last minute things.
I've got something if you want to. So
go, Russell.
I'm aware that people like Jared are pretty prone to rimming their Uber turbine wheels. I'm pretty sure that Jared's wheels look like a block of half-chewed cheese around the edges.
Jared's left the building, so.
Oh, he's not here. Oh, damn. All right, whatever. Anyway, I do know he's rimmed his tires, so he's rimmed. Sorry, so it's not out of school. But my Model Y performance with those wheels as well. It's not mine. Sorry, it's my wife's. Had a bit of a mishap with one of the rims a couple of months ago. I actually managed to find some touch-up paint from a local place in Balcatta, which is like spot on, like exactly the color, and yeah, it's really good. Relatively cheap. I think it was like, I'm going to say $20 or something for about 20 mils.
He's not too expensive.
It's called Variety Paints and More, and they make it for you, like they mix it up for you, like when you order it. So,
they haven't got like a pre-done batch. They don't decant it from a. They make it live, basically.
Yeah, they make it when you order it. Like so, you don't need much. Like 20 mils goes a long way, but I think knowing my wife's driving, I probably should order 20 liters.
Whoa! I've still got the container when I first did when Leonie did mine years ago.
So I guess, is it this one, Russell?
One. Yeah, that's the one. Yep.
Cool. So they're in Wangara.
Yeah, and I think I just did postage. I think it was like $10 to get posted. So it was reasonably inexpensive in the scheme of things. And probably from maybe like a meter away, you don't even really see that it's been painted. I guess it depends how bad damage is, but it worked pretty well. Yeah.
So is it in like a little tin or something, or a little jar?
It's in a plastic container with a resealable lid, and the lid at the top has a paintbrush attached to it.
Oh,
so you
right.
Just dip it in and then dab it on, and I didn't actually use that paintbrush because it was a little bit big for what I needed. I'd use a smaller one, but I'm sure you could use that one if you needed to.
So this is this the black Uber turbines, or is this for?
Yeah, the gunmetal grey. Yeah.
Gotcha. Right. Yep. So I presume that will be the same color
Saturn
model.
Saturn. Yeah, it's the same color as the Model 3 Performance Uber turbines.
Right, but is that the same as Model Ys? Do you know?
I believe so.
Oh, okay, cool. Right, no worries. Yep, cool.
I think it's got the same color code for both the Uber turbines. I'm not sure about the smaller ones on the Model Ys. The 20-inch, I think they are, or what are those ones? I'm not sure what the color they are. If they're the same color, I think they're a darker color, aren't they?
I think yes. Oh, yeah. I'm not sure, to be honest. Now, how did they get the color? Did you just tell them you got a Tesla Performance 3, or did you just give them the
on the website? I went on there and I pretty much googled like Model Y 21-inch Uber turbine wheel paint, and then a few sites came up, and that one was like local. So I looked at it, and they've got their own color code for the Uber turbine wheel. Yeah.
Cool. So I suggest if you go there and say, hey, I want one for the Model Y Uber turbines, I'll say, it's either the same or something different. So they probably know their stuff.
Because there's a few things in Amazon and stuff as well you could get, but there was all different sort of shades and things. I wasn't quite sure exactly what it was, but yeah, these guys seem to be pretty good.
Yeah, very good. Awesome. Good scoop. So Chuck, there is actually a little bit of there are a few extra sites. Well, I seem to sort of alluded to. There's Denim, So this is courtesy of Richard Tozer. He's also known as Aussie 8 because he's doing a slow figure 8 of Australia. So he's just snapped this in denim yesterday, which is pretty cool on his drone. And obviously, Kimber is not going to be a goer for you, I presume, Chuck, because they're still waiting for South Australia Power to hook up power to it.
Yeah, they posted about Cal going live yesterday or the day before, so that one's active, but not Kimber.
Yeah, right. So, do you think you might do a little detour? Like, if you're going to pick up, do you think you might go to Whyalla?
Yeah, on the way west, I'll be going from Port Augusta through Kimber the direct way. Oh, kind of direct. I'll be going via Streaky Bay, but just for a scenic.
So if we go, Streaky Bay. Oh, so good thing about Streaky Bay is you go to Hine Engineering.
Yeah,
and talk to Aaron. He's a hell of a nice gentleman.
Yep.
I believe he's the owner now, and he's a top bloke. But just make sure it's during business hours, obviously.
Yes, that's it. Yeah,
and that's a certain random person's Model Y that's been a bit bugged. But
geez, that happens.
It does happen.
Yeah, and so then on the way back, I'll be going from Ceduna through. Down towards Cal, sort of through, is it Wadena, the middle one?
Yes.
Wadena?
Wadena. Yeah, Wadena.
I'll probably be going from there, then a bit south to Locke, and then across to the east, overnight in Cleve, and then back up the coastway through Cal and Whyalla. So I'm taking a few scenic routes, so I'm not going the exact same way both directions.
Yeah, good. And the veterinary clinic, it's all it's just awesome. The only thing I found that might have been a pain was I found it difficult to log into their website using the app, so I had to use the QR code instead. But that might have just been me. And they use it's a US based app. And apparently the reason for that is so that they can claim CO2 carbon credits for charging, apparently, because that service provider, I forget what they're called. I think it might be it's an Evanza. So it's Evanza app.
Evanza, okay.
Yeah, Evanza. So like I said, I sort of gave up after about, I don't know, a solid 5 minutes of trying several times, and I just used the QR code, scanned it with my camera or phone, and went onto the website, and I got to pay. I think I used Apple Pay or something like that, or put my credit card in, and it just worked, thankfully.
Right.
But the gentleman who's installed it, he found his app working quite all right. But I guess it just depends on how you've set it up or whatever. I thought I set it up properly. But it just didn't work. So maybe have a fiddle with that before you go, Charles, and hopefully it'll work for you. Well, that'll be on the way back anyway.
That's all right. Yeah, it sounds like from Sandra's report that a lot of those ones between Perth and Coolgardie will be hopefully up and going. So that's good news. You said end of October.
Yeah. So when are you going to get to Norseman roughly?
On the way across, it'll be Thursday. I think it's going to be the 27th, maybe.
Oh no, you'll be 27th of Friday.
Oh, hang on, might be wrong then.
27th of Friday. But yeah, no, you'll be good. I think you'll be okay.
Yeah, I'll arrive Norseman on the Wednesday night, then Kalgoorlie on the Thursday night. Yep.
So Norseman's the 25th?
Yeah.
Kalgoorlie are you going to Kalgoorlie? Oh, no, you'll be fine, because then from Kalgoorlie, you'll be able to make it to Southern Cross, easy peasy.
But I'm not going that way on the way across, though. I'm coming back down afterwards.
Are you going southwards to Esperance?
Yeah. Going the long way around.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I've got to find out. I might let you know later.
Yeah.
If Esperance, I know Esperance is on the boil, and in fact, I think on Plug.
Esperance is 10th of November, off from memory.
Yeah, I think there is Esperance. The latest photo on PlugShare is, it's for all intents and purposes, it's installed.
Yeah.
So
those cables look a long way from where the cars are. It's massive.
Yeah, they are. They're long cables, but you're right. That is a long way. That is really strange. But they are very long cables. Yeah, no, you're right, Charles. I don't know whether they're going to alter that. Like, what they should do is deepen those bays. But hey, it is what it is.
Yep.
But these cables are quite long because it's a bit hard to see here, but you've got the length of the cable plus that spring action, which then straightens it. So really, yeah, for a Tesla, a Leaf, well, not a Leaf, but a Kona, Tesla Kona. Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
Right.
There you go.
We've already got one of those style units in Tassie so far. That's the one at Dunalley, but I haven't used that one yet. So
like Kempower, yes,
test them out.
Yeah. Actually, I did use that one. That worked really well.
Yep.
And I think Norseman's not going to be too far off. So I think Norseman will be fine for your return journey, Chuck. Which you'll be going the Goldfields Highway on the way back. So in other words, you'll be going from Perth to Merredin to Southern Cross.
Yep.
On your outbound.
That's it. The straight line. Hopefully from Perth to Cleve in 5 days of driving. Hopefully, we'll see how we go.
What's Cleve? Is that in Tassie?
No, Cleve near Cal in South Australia.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm looking at my schedule. I've got a couple of days where I finish driving at 3 p.m, so it should be okay. There's a bit of a buffer there. So
yeah, cool, awesome, fantastic. Alrighty. Or anything to report on any other charging? Calliope's all going great guns. Calliope.
Yep. Oh, did you see the story on the ABC today about the NRMA site in the Northern Territory?
Yeah, and it's the wrong end of the Northern Territory too. Let me just get that.
Yeah.
And they called that Horizons was just a trial. The off-grid solution that Horizons implementing, they called it a trial. I thought that's a bit degrading.
Yes, it is a bit, just a bit, since they're fully committed to installing 14 stations that are fully off-grid anyway.
Yeah.
So have you got a link? Has someone got a link to that, an easy link to that?
I'm trying to find it.
I can get it again. I put the link to the other one as well for you, Harold, before for the Cybertruck. Let me dig out the other one.
This could end up being a sneak preview.
And it's crazy to come to this, right?
That somebody has to break into one.
Was that it, Russell?
You got to start at 3 minutes. What did I put it on there? 3:45 or something?
3. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, because on my phone I couldn't send the whole
Kim,
thing.
how about possibly one of the better looks inside the Cybertruck's UI that we've seen to date, and it's in a controversial format too. Someone apparently turned out to stumble upon a Cybertruck.
Yeah, tow truck driver, maybe.
The key card was clearly in it. He goes in, he's not speaking English. He starts recording. We see the center screen, the driver who left the keys, and of course the comment section is blowing up saying Max is about to be fired. How do you leave your Cybertruck key card in the truck itself and walk away? So it seems like it was the transporter or someone at the transport yard that.
It's pretty funny though.
It's really funny.
It's funny because it's totally.
Now see this.
Shut up, Kim.
Of our eyes. Yeah, again, you kind of feel a little bad for Tesla because the UI is probably not quite final.
Sorry.
I'm sure Tesla.
The best one I could
Sorry,
find.
Russ, I'm just not doing it to us because.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I have seen the original, but I think it might have been removed off
I think so.
YouTube, so you only can get stuff. I think there was one on Tesla Daily a few days ago, and I think Electrified had it as well, but I
Yeah,
can't remember the
Harold,
date they put
I
it up.
sent in the chat, I popped the link about half an hour ago, the electric version of that, which doesn't have that boring narrative.
Yes, thanks, Steve. Sorry, I did see that and I got distracted. Here we go. Full screen. Let's go.
Вот этот ключ Тесла. Вставляешь сюда, она едет. Камеры. Сенсор вообще прикольный. 84% запас хода. Вот это, сука. Илона Маск. Потолок. Ух, нихера. Прикольно. Аварийка включается вот так вот.
There you go. Thanks for that. And at the bottom, we've got the link to the ABC article. And, oh, yeah, this thing done by Linked Group is just an expensive waste of money because there's nothing more dear. That's only 34 kilowatts of solar panels, and it was cheaper just to put them on the ground, like this at Overlander, and that's more like 200 kilowatts of panels, and that installation was probably cheaper than this. This is at Coochin Creek on the Sunshine Coast.
Yeah, that was Evie's first ever site, I think.
Yes. Yeah, actually, I avoided it because it's too close to Brisbane, so I didn't need to use it. And there's Hunter Murray.
Oh, yep.
Who, he's very pleased with the proposed location.
In the chat, Harold, there's a video from ABC News about that article.
Ah, cool. 2 seconds. Just got to rewind it.
The Stuart Highway is one of Australia's longest roads, and its remoteness is posing a challenge for electric cars. This Tesla owner charges his battery at roadhouses and caravan parks when he goes on drives around central Australia. Could you go to Uluru in this EV?
I'm going to Uluru tomorrow. It's a bit of planning and it's a big day, but you can.
Hunter Murray wants more charges along the Stuart Highway so regional Australia isn't left behind.
We really just got to make sure that infrastructure's in, and it's hard here in the Territory because we don't really have a grid.
The logistics could get easier for Hunter as more chargers are installed. Many of those currently around Alice Springs to Uluru aren't the type that can quickly charge a car. More than 100 sites in remote and regional locations, including in Central Australia, are now getting faster chargers as part of a $90 million program by the federal government and the NRMA. But there are connection challenges in the bush.
The main barrier is the grid, the constraints on the grid. So it's really difficult to connect large charging infrastructure, public charging infrastructure easily.
Carly says in some locations they're going in without any existing power at all.
So we've had to develop a off-grid, what we're calling a standalone power charging system to cater for that problem.
The organisation is working with this manufacturer in regional Queensland.
That's our current charge at the moment.
The company's prototype has solar panels, battery storage and a backup diesel generator.
To provide fast charging facilities.
So Russell, how much do you reckon all that steel would cost?
Maybe what to buy as scrap or to fabricate?
to fabricate and install like that sort of canopy setup?
Maybe 30,000.
Was that all? Really? I thought it'd be a bit more than that.
Well, I don't know. I don't think it would be, but I can. If you know the weight of it, I can tell you because it's pretty much my job. But
yeah, no, I'm just thinking that's just a lot of palaver for a whole 30 kilowatts of panels.
In very
they're probably
remote
charging
and
more
regional
if they can.
locations where there is either a constraint on the grid where they can't get enough energy, or in fact no grid at all.
It's soon being shipped out to the Stewart Highway along Hunter Murray's Drive to Uluru.
So a couple of cars can charge at once in the middle of nowhere and get on their merry way again.
But the prototype is expensive at about $500,000, meaning it needs investment to scale up. And that is no sure thing with its installation just a trial.
If you go too fast in terms of rolling out the infrastructure, then they'll become underutilised. If you go too slow, then you end up with queues and people aren't happy.
Dr. Dwyer warns the electrification of regional Australia will face setbacks.
We're going to require many, many more electricians and electrical engineers, particularly where you've got remote regions. We should be starting this yesterday as opposed to starting it today.
The Minister for Climate Change and Energy says they're not worried about cost blowouts or delays.
Of course, any new program like this is going to have its challenges. You're putting charges into areas where in some cases there's no electricity grid. This is a big infrastructure project.
The federal government says that it doesn't want regional Australians to be left behind, and advocates for charging stations in the bush say that this is about equity of services for anyone who doesn't live in a big city.
Need a charge?
Hunter has already installed a fast charger at his business in Alice Springs. His employee wants more of them installed right across the bush.
To be able to travel, and have a charger every couple of 100 kilometres, I think a lot more people would quite happily jump into an EV.
The national highway rollout will begin in months.
And that's just months too late. Anyway,
So you didn't bite the NRMA comment there.
no, I did. So I actually bid on that last week. I think it was the week
that's
before, and I
that's
had
why
my
I brought
little
it up.
rant. So
I brought it up. Yeah, I remember it was
So,
still
dear
raw in my mind.
NRMA, please get your web developers to allow plebs like me to use your chargers while I'm in New South Wales, because I'm not an NRMA member and I can't be one because, well, geez, your insurance is just too bloody dear in WA. And why can't I use your chargers? And nor can
Well,
Chuck.
we pay
Chuck's-
for them anyway, partially through tax, because it's being
Absolutely.
funded by the government.
Yeah, too right. And why are they building they already have announced they're building a station at Mount Isa, and 300 kilometres west of Mount Isa is a little town called Camberwell, which has one single three-phase socket in the entire town, and that's owned by a semi-retired mechanic that is allowing people to use it with his good grace, and that's a disgrace that the NRMA and even the climate change minister, they haven't tied that funding, that $94 million, to say to the NRMA, your priority is put them where there aren't any. Don't just gold plate the Eastern Seaboard or major towns that already have charging. It's just not good enough. Anyway. Can't wait to see an NRMA charger in Perth. That'll be awesome.
You're going to be able to use it. Only Chuck will be the only one that can use it because he come from over there. Do the first check-in on PlugShare for us.
Well, I even installed I even installed the NRMA app, thinking, there might be a charger that I can use on the way. Might be one in South Australia that I can use, but
yeah, Barry.
I installed it, and then it said, congratulations, you're now an NRMA member with a 12-month free trial. I'm like, hang on, I just want to use the charger occasionally. I don't want to. Yeah, it's like they've got this introductory deal for basically. I just signed up to charge like you would any other charging app. And then at the end of it, I had a member number. So what's going on?
Oh,
here? Got no idea how it works. I don't think they do either.
Were you able to put a credit card info into the app as well to attach to your member number?
I think I did. I don't want to start filming at the end though.
No, but maybe you can then use it to start a charging session or something. That'd be interesting. Yeah, right. Well, if you've got time, Chuck, if you could please try that on your trip.
I'll have to see where the closest one is, because I think they're only there's only a few of them on the app at the moment. When they start billing for them, they add them to the app then.
Oh, understood.
Yeah, so it's only showing. Oh, where's my camera? There it is. Not working.
You'd have to turn up. Yeah, no, can't. It's you're not a person. Your phone's not a person.
It's not smart enough to work it out. There we go.
No, it's not smart enough.
There we go. So that's
Chuck, there are a couple of NRA charges in Mildura. You'll probably touch those on the way through.
They're a bit off to the side, I think, from where I'm going.
You're not going through Mildura?
No, that's a detour.
Yeah, no, he'll be going the coastway from Melbourne, Steve, just straight, Bendigo, not Bendigo, Cathan, whatever. Ballarat, sorry. Yeah.
Yep. I was thinking, hey, Sydney, not Melbourne, of course.
No, because he's going to embark or disembark at Geelong. Because that's where the ferry goes now.
That's it.
Yes.
So you don't even have to touch Melbourne, which is good.
It's great, because I hate driving through Melbourne.
Oh, come on. What you should do is have a quick stop at the Victoria markets and go for the original American donuts. It's in like a in like a bus.
Okay.
They've been running since 1957 or something. It's just the best thing. Anyway,
I've been there for a while.
Sorry?
Yes. I was just saying I haven't been to the Queen Vic markets for a long time.
Well, there you go. There's an opportunity.
On the app, the only ones showing are those couple there, which are just near Sydney.
Oh, right. Okay.
There's one a little bit north and one a bit south. But if you zoom out, there's no more showing yet. So it's only as they convert them from free to paid is when they appear on the app.
So they're not all paid then. Clearly, most of them aren't yet.
No, it's only the few. It's like the first few they installed years ago.
Yeah, right.
Olympic Park and a couple of other ones.
There's one at Balranald, I think, but that's way out of your way.
Yeah. The only they've got a couple in Adelaide, I think. There's one at Berry and one at Tanunda. Not quite sure.
Oh yes, yeah.
They're kind of on the road between Adelaide and Mildura.
Yeah, the one at Berry's by the police station.
Yeah, Berry, Tanunda. I might go near. That's kind of on the outskirts of Adelaide, but it's a bit of a. It's a little bit out of the way. Maybe on the way back. I'm going to see if I can drive past the big battery on the way back and take some photos. But
very good.
Who knows how close I'll get?
Oh, you can get very close actually. I did it in 2018, and you can get a whole overview of all the batteries from the lookout.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's an access road before it gets fenced. Before there's a gate. So you can get a good view, and Clare's not far, obviously, because it's just out of Jamestown, and I believe Jamestown is actually a location for a RAA fast DC charger as well.
In terms of energy output, Harold,
yes,
those batteries, how much energy is their peak capacity, the output?
The one that I think it was originally 129 megawatt hours.
Okay.
But I think it's bigger now. They have extended it, so they've that was the original version.
Let's just say, I don't know, 200 or something. Just say, just for the purpose of this conversation, how close do you reckon you better get to a power station that could output 200 megawatt hours of energy? Do you reckon you better get that close to a coal-fired or gas or small nuclear reactor? Or what would the exclusion zone be for that equivalent amount of energy?
Oh, no. Yeah, you're right. To be honest, I was going up towards Parkes, and I think it was then. And, because most of New South Wales is built on coal, because it's just sitting on a mountain of coal. And we got exceedingly close to the coal-fired power stations, to be honest. They were like just right there, like really close. But yeah, I mean, look, I'd have to look at my Twitter back to 2018, but the photos, I did get pretty good photos, and that was stage one. That was when the battery was at its smallest, its original stage one version. But no, you'll be able to get pretty close, Chuck, and get some good snaps. And I forget the metrics, Russell, but for example, the one we had in the news today, that was 300 megawatt hours. Yeah, 300 megawatt hours and 150 megawatts. So that was a 2-hour storage, and they're using the virtual machine.
Yeah, I heard that. That was because there was a lot of, I think maybe this time last year is when they started ramping that system up to actually provide grid stability, not just capacity, right?
Yeah, so true inertia as you'd only get with spinning reserve, and they've proven that it's all been approved, and it's true legitimate spinning reserve, and it works in both directions, of course. So if suddenly you've got a disconnect and it, you know, if your power stations are overspinning, it can suck all that energy up in milliseconds, and then milliseconds later switch mode from absorbing, you know, 150 megawatts to delivering it in milliseconds, which is just mind-blowing.
One of the things to get the $10 trillion valuation that you're speaking about a couple of weeks ago. But I did come across probably something that's going to be more probable to get the $10 trillion valuation. We've all seen just recently how the US cars now, you can get a wrap as part of your order. Have you seen that? Yeah.
Yes.
So what I thought was, Elon's obviously listening because he always does, especially when I'm part of the discussion.
He listens to you, Russell.
Yeah. If he wants to probably put $10 trillion into the company overnight, if he can offer burnt orange to the Australian market, I reckon you'll be onto a winner there.
We know burnt orange.
That's $1 trillion of just revenue alone in burnt orange. I mean, whoever wasn't born in the 60s or 70s doesn't want burnt orange. I don't know. There's no one alive that doesn't hanker for it. Oh, poor old look, Damon really was ahead of his time, and that's going to be the catalyst that takes Tesla to $11 trillion, Russell. Dearie me. I'm actually getting exceedingly close to the big battery. There we go. This is what you're about to see, Chuck. So forget that silly car in the background. That's it there. So that was stage one, and it's 17 k's from Jamestown, and that was just using a crappy iPhone. And this is a good start. So my car's got about 7,500 of these. This is actually one of the 18650 batteries, and the big battery has got 11 million of these things. And that's when it was only small, when it was only about 129 or 130 megawatt hours. So yeah, Chuck, you'll be able to get up close and get some good.
Did you get that one? Did you get that one out of the vibrator, did you, Harold? Where'd that come from?
It's look, Russell, it's a legitimate Tesla. I actually got it in the States. They had them it's like a phone charger. There's you can see a little slither of red. It's that comes out, and it had like a lightning or probably whatever else it had. I think it was lightning to charge your phone. But I think it stopped working, or something bit broke off, so I stopped using it. But yeah, so definitely, Chuck. Yeah, that would be a good place to visit. I mean, hey, you could almost. Sorry, go on.
Oh, I was about to say I'm about to log off the night. So any last minute tips, and then I'll disappear until I'm in me check my schedule.
Make sure you've done your postal vote before you leave, mate. Otherwise, you won't be able to vote.
Oh, that's okay. I'll still be here on the weekend.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that means, does that mean, so next Wednesday you'll be on the ferry, and then the
ferry, yep.
Wednesday after that you'll be in Perth?
I'll be in Norseman by that point.
Norseman. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
No worries.
I'll be close.
Well, obviously you've got my number just in case, but look,
Yes.
it's smooth sailing. Yeah, no, you're going to be fine, and you're going to really enjoy it, and you're taking it nice and steady too. So that's really good. You know, just relax, and enjoy it.
Yeah, on the way across, except for between Geelong and Adelaide, where it's all superchargers. The other days are going to be about 350. There's one day of 400, but mostly 350 k's a day.
So you're basically you don't even have to do much daytime charging, really. You're just taking it steady.
Yeah. On the way back, it's a little bit more rushed on the way back, but not that much more.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Oh no, you'll be right. Don't worry, that's not rushed. You're not rushed. It's all good. But look, enjoy the trip, Chuck, and really look forward to maybe seeing you in a couple of weeks if you're in Norseman on the same time zone.
Yep, I'm planning to arrive in Perth on the 1st of November.
Yeah, so, fantastic.
Yeah,
fantastic.
So that's a Wednesday as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll try and get you. Well, we'll get you live on somehow. We'll work something out.
Yeah.
I think that might even be a casual meetup, actually, to be honest.
Okay.
Oh, it is too. Yes, it is. So, in fact, there won't be an Ask Us Anything for that Wednesday. It's actually a casual meetup. So we'll get a venue so we could do a live in person Ask Us Anything.
Yeah, sounds good. Actually, I was talking to Robin were here during this week. I had coffee with them Monday morning.
Fantastic.
Monday morning, yeah. So he said, I think he said he thought that date was an in-person one. So
yes, it is. Yeah. So we'll see you in the flesh. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome. All right. Well, good night to you. Thanks for joining us so late, and enjoy the trip.
Yeah, no worries. You'll see the occasional picture on Twitter and stuff. So yeah.
Oh yes, we'll be following you absolutely. So we'll be reposting some of those as well. So yeah, safe travels.
Very good. I'll see you at some point.
No worries. Look forward to it, Chuck. Take care, mate.
See you guys.
Cheers. Alrighty, we've got any other questions or comments before we might sort of think about winding this thing up? Well, of course, Russell's here, so we might just rock on all night, Russell, eh?
Yeah, I'm trying to give someone else. I've got a few months worth of commentary to get in, and unfortunately, the target of all my commentary has already left the call, so I'm a bit out of material at the moment.
Oh no, that's just yes, I fully understand. But all right, anyone else got any other questions or comments?
It's David here. G'day.
Yes, David.
2 questions. We were down south as we do every weekend, and we left the car for a few days at a friend's place. And when we came to come home, we had to stop in at Mandurah because we almost ran out of fuel. We'd left the Sentry mode on, and I hadn't realised how much it uses. And I just thought I'd mention that to anybody who happens. But does the Sentry mode switch itself on automatically, or do you have to? Because I keep turning it off and it seems to be on whenever I go back to the car.
If it's set, if you're at home, you can have the Sentry mode not come on when you're at home or at any other favourite place.
How do you put in favourite places?
I think what you've done, mate, is you said you've been turning it off with your phone. There's an override on your car itself, which you can essentially do a master switch off or on. So if that one's switched off, then it will never turn on at all. Is that what you're after, or are you looking to only have it on in certain locations?
Well, I just got surprised when it was on, and I thought I'd turned it off. That was all. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can default it to be off all the time, and then selectively turn it on when you need to through your phone, if you really want to do it that way, or vice versa. So if you're sort of having off more often than on, you might be better off just switching it off permanently on your car, and then going in your app and turning it on selectively when you want to actually have the extra security.
so you can see here, you just go into the menu, you go to safety, and then in this case it's turned on, but you just turn it to off. But the thing about, you can exclude home, work, and favorites. So if you have it on, if you've set a home location, you can tick this to exclude home, so it doesn't use Sentry, or it doesn't turn Sentry on while you're at home or at work. Not that work has to be work, it's just it's just cold work. Or you can also exclude favorites. So if you've got a number of places that you deem to be secure that don't need Sentry, or you don't want Sentry, you could add those locations as favorites and then go in and exclude favorites.
How do we put favorites in though? How do you do that?
Oh, so when you have a location that you navigate to, I think there's like a little star next to it in your history, I think, or when you select it, there's a star. And if you press that star symbol, I think it goes from like an outline to solid, and that then goes into your favorites, which when you look at...
I think it's a filled in orange color from memory, but don't quote me on that.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen that star. I didn't know what the star was for. Okay.
Yeah, it's for favorites. But as Russell said, you could just go into your menu. So if you just go into menu and then safety, and then you just turn it off there, that will basically turn it off for everywhere, and it won't really come back on unless you go to your app and turn it on manually. But what happened, David, is Sentry Mode would have been running. It consumes about 6 kilowatt hours of charge in a 24-hour period, and obviously it only takes 10 of those 24-hour periods to well, maybe not even that, like a week, and you'll lose a large proportion of your battery until it gets to 20%, and then it stops using Sentry Mode. So your car generally will not go below 20% for sort of any reason once it gets to that level.
And it's the same with cabin overheat protection as well. If you've got that switched on, if you weren't aware of it, if your car gets a bit too warm, it'll turn the AC on to keep the car cool, and that will use not as much as Sentry, but it will still use some power if you're really trying to save every last drop, so to speak.
Yeah. The other question I had is about credits. One of my family members decided to buy a Tesla, and she rang me and said, you give me your credits and I'll get a reduction. So I did that. But what do I do with the credits? How do I utilize credits?
Oh, hop on your app, David. So if you just go into your Tesla app and you go into the loot box. So yeah, this is working. Sorry, I'll just spotlight myself, and I'll just turn off the green screen. Okay, so what you do is you just pick your car, you go into there's a little cube, which is your loot box. So you press that cube, and that's your referrals, and then you've got at the bottom, it's got a little shopping bag that says redeem. So you tick on redeem, and then you've got various accessories. The most useful thing would probably be charging accessories. So you can get a wall connector for 9,000 credits. You can get a UMC, Universal Mobile Connector, for 6,000 credits. And there are a few other little minor bits and pieces. And that's really good. Yeah, so it's a loot box. So that's really good, because if someone shares, let me just unspotlight myself. If someone, one thing I've done, there's a gentleman that wants to buy a car, so I got one of my mate's referral codes and gave it to him. The referral link, actually, because you've got to use a link to actually. You no longer use the code per se. It's actually just the URL, the link, and you log in with that link, and then you just order the car. At the moment, you can only order Model Ys that qualify for that discount. So the deal was, this gentleman used my mate's referral link, and then my mate will then, with the 10,000 points that he gets for that referral, will then buy, with 9,000 points, will buy a wall connector. a wall charger, and give it to him. So that way, he gets $750 off the purchase. You get free enhanced autopilot for 3 months. The purchaser does, and in this case, he's also going to get a free high power wall connector or wall charger.
It's a good deal, isn't it? It really is.
It is, and it's great because you should actually use the money to buy the points to buy the wall connector, because that costs $750, and you can basically get it for nothing. And then the other thing you could buy it with, of course, is the mobile charger, but you're better off just paying the $550 and buying it yourself. If you
can also get premium subscription for a year as well. You could get a few years of that with 10,000 if you want to trade in for that.
Yeah, what's the dollar convert? Is that a lot of years, Russell? 'Cause I guess it's about $120 a year.
I think it's like 3 years worth of premium connectivity you can get for 10,000.
Yeah, look, the wall charger still represents better value because 3 years at $120.
But if you already got a wall charger, then what do you need another one for?
True.
Unless you want to try and sell it on eBay or something and get your money back and buy something else.
Yeah, and I hope people don't do that. But unfortunately, humans being what they are, I'm sure people will.
Just be aware, David, as well, that those credits you have will be valid for 1 year, and if you leave them for too long, they'll expire.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely spend them. It's a little bit like frequent flyer points. You should spend them before they get devalued. And in fact, I think the wall connector was 7,000 points originally. Then it went to 8, and now it's 9. So there's a little bit of inflation happening as far as the value of points, or deflation, whatever. But good deal, and it's great that you were able to do that. So is that for your daughter, David?
No, would you believe my mother-in-law? I would, somebody like a mother-in-law, anyway. Yeah.
Right. Cool. No worries. No, that's good. Well,
I can't believe I gave her the benefit, but still, there I am. Yeah.
Well, the biggest benefit was she got to buy a Tesla. So that's a fantastic thing. So.
I did actually get somebody randomly use my referral link recently, and I got an email through saying, "Congratulations, such and such, use your code or use your referral link." But yeah, you don't get credited until they actually take delivery of the vehicle, obviously. But if I do find out who it was somehow, then I'm more than happy to give them my points as well, because I don't need them. So I think her name was Shauna. Shauna's out there anywhere. Get in touch.
Oh, right. Yeah, look, we might be able to do some. Oh, I don't know. We have to find out. Look, there might be some very strict privacy considerations as well. But
I did do a quick search on Facebook and also on LinkedIn, but I couldn't find anybody with the name that was on there. So I've sort of just
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. I might have a little look on our database to see if Shauna at random might be a member or something. But look, definitely we'll do a shout out to Shauna, maybe a little bit earlier on the program next week, Russell, so that she if she's watching, she might be more likely to watch it at the start, or someone might know her. But no, that's really nice of you, Russell, to seek to do that. That's it just goes to show that us Tesla owners are a good bunch of people. And we're not greedy capitalists. We just want to share the loving everywhere. So maybe we can get a good outcome.
I think it comes down to
Shauna.
when you're buying Tesla stock back in 2019, 10,000 points doesn't really mean too much anymore.
Yes. Now, what is Tesla doing? I think they've just opened actually. They have in that. No, they haven't quite opened yet. It must be just about to. I can see Apple's gone blank, so they must be just on the cusp. Let's see if we can get Tesla's price up. I think, are they open? Yes, they are.
Pre-market. But I thought they don't open until 10 o'clock.
Oh, is it 10 o'clock? Is it? I thought it was 9:30.
9:30.
Oh, no, 9:30. 9:30. You're right. Yeah.
Yes, they're up 1 and a bit percent. Yes. Yep, they are. They're definitely open. So they're up a little bit. That's good. That's good. In spite of, various analysts. Oops. various analysts complaining about them not using a lot of advertising, which I mean that
There's probably the bigger thing probably here. There's no cell in their spreadsheet for burnt orange wrap. That's why it's not gone to the moon straight away. So I have to.
That's right. It's going to be a burnt orange recovery from the automotive recession. Yeah, I didn't put it in the news. Well, I mean, the burnt orange was a trade secret, and that was just between you and I, Russell, and Damon, who was ahead of the curve, further than Pete ever has been. But yeah, I didn't put it in the news because I believe on the website, which is really hard to find. I had to sort of like search for the link. It's only a couple of locations in California that are offering it at the moment, and at $8,000 US, I've got to say it's not cheap. It's really not cheap. But you know, anyway. And obviously we had also at the Peterson Museum, they successfully auctioned a low VIN Cybertruck, which obviously wasn't on site because they haven't done deliveries yet, but they did manage to auction that for $400,000 US. So it's going to be interesting to see when that actually gets delivered. And clearly also Tesla has opened up an @Cybertruck X handle, the old Twitter handle. So clearly, and you know, they live streamed the Baja challenge thing that they did. So it must be getting awfully close to deliveries. And obviously it's fairly obvious it's going to be in November or December at the very latest for initial deliveries. And there was also the footage from Joe Tetmeyer of a lot of the Giga castings, front and rear castings for the Cybertruck. And I think it was the Electrified YouTube channel, Dylan Numis, that said quite rightly, don't get too excited about all those castings. There were similar numbers of castings for the Model Y 7 months before they actually went into first deliveries. So, you know, we just got to curb our enthusiasm. Alrighty, any other last sort of comments or remarks before? I don't think Pete's on, so I'm going to have to do Pete's outro for him as well. But any last bits? Anything from you, Russell, since you're the guest star of the show?
Russell's gone.
Oh, Russell's gone.
He's gone.
Oh no, he's back.
Oh,
he just
sorry.
came. He just came back. But
Yeah,
he's-
sorry, I just had to. My thing just shut down. I was just getting a link for. I think it was Brad, was it, or someone? Maybe. Hey,
Yeah.
I'll just throw my email in there, mate. If you just shoot me an email, like I'm on my phone at the moment, it's a bit difficult. Shoot me an email and I'll send you the link back, and I'll give you I'll buy a charger for you if you want the credits.
Now, Brad, don't forget that the only car that applies to is a Model Y. So if you're looking at a Model 3, it won't work. Just letting you know.
Yeah, he said he's buying a Model Y.
Yeah, cool, awesome. Oh, yes, he did too. Sorry, I didn't read that properly. So you should have that there, Brad. If you just note that down before we do the outro for the show. What I was saying, Russell, is have you got any last comments or whatever for this show since you are a guest star of it?
Oh yeah, sure. I might turn the camera on for this one because it's so important, isn't it? Hard to see here when I'm in the dark, but probably what I'd like to go out with is say, firstly, if you turn back time, buy Tesla shares. If not, stay safe, stay sustainable, and stay ahead of the curve.
That's perfect. And the best way to do that is buy a Tesla, join TOCWA, and ask us anything about accelerating the world's transition to sustainable energy. That awesome outro, Russell, which cannot be beaten. Yeah, have a great week, everyone. Really look forward to next week's episode of Ask Us Anything. Good night, everyone.
Not at all.
No. Good night.